Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here. Welcome back to a deadline stream. Haven't had a deadline stream in a while. Game week 2, game week 3 took a break because of personal reasons, but we are back now. We are back for the deadline streams. As per usual, about three-ish hours before the deadline, so there's quite a bit of time still. Right, but I do have to confirm my transfer on this stream, right, because the deadline is fast approaching and I haven't made my transfer yet. So if you guys watched the team selection video, you'll realize that one of my transfer moves that I said I wanted to do was Gabriel to Udogi, right? But I think at this point in time I'm having a little bit of a rethink right now whether I do need to make that change or not. The only other real change that I can see myself making is maybe Marcus Rashford out for someone like James Maddison, right? So there is there's basically these two moves that are on my mind right now. And essentially if I don't take Levi Colwell out now in game week 4, I probably can't get to Raheem Sterling early enough for his fixture run, right? So I probably would have to give up going for Raheem Sterling if I don't take Levi Colwell out because I'm already tripled up on Chelsea. So currently this is what I'm thinking about. Let's see how I feel as we go along during the stream. We'll cover some team news as well. We've had a bit of press conference news come out a couple of hours ago, updating us about some players, so we'll take a look at that as well. And then I'll discuss a little bit about some major talking points for this week that I covered in this week's preview video, if you guys managed to catch that one. So I'll say hi to some of you guys in the chat first before we jump into the contents. Hopefully, if you guys are here already, please do drop a like. Please do drop a like on the stream so that you can reach more people. VJ is in the chat, looking forward to this. Martin says, hey my man, nice to see you here, Martin, nice and early. Roger as well, I thought I was early. Well, you're still early, you are still early. It's pretty early before the deadline. I think we do have quite a bit of time. I think about three and a half hours, so there's still a bit of time for us to warm up to the news that we're gonna get. So we'll cover a bit about some injury news before we get on to some questions that you guys have. Roger says, don't sell Rashford. I upgraded Usula to Vissa and I have Rashford on the bench playing 3-4-3 this week. That is something that I can consider as well. Whether I want to get a third striker. So actually the options are so great for me this week, right? You rightly pointed out that upgrading my third forward is also a possibility, but I do want to factor in some money for Kieran Trippier come game week 5 as well, right? But currently now we know that Newcastle have a really tough Champions League group, so that is probably going to affect Newcastle's lineup in the Premier League when Champions League comes around, because when that comes around, then obviously we're gonna see some rotation there. Maybe Kieran Trippier is not necessary. Right, so those are things that I'm thinking about at this point in time. But for the moment, I just don't think I would need a third forward. I don't need an eighth attacker, basically. So I feel like I'm still probably going to lean towards either taking Gabriel out or Marcus Rashford. Because Gabriel, for a couple of reasons, I'm already losing a lot of money on Gabriel here. So that's one thing. Right, and on top of that, I don't see myself needing Gabriel moving forward. That fourth defensive spot is actually one that I think can be used to rotate. So I do want to have someone like a Udogi who rotates well with Estupinian. Right, so currently that's the thinking behind Gabriel to Udogi. But obviously haven't locked it in yet. Osula to maybe Vissa, as you mentioned, or even Alvarez if I wanted to go a little bit more brave with my moves. Marcus Rashford to James Maddison is also pretty brave. I do feel like that would be a little bit out of my comfort zone, even though I do think like that is a move that may pay off, right? But it's also a move that can backfire, right? Selling Rashford this week. So I just haven't decided yet, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think as well. Let me put a poll in the chat. Let's put a poll in the chat. Who would you transfer out from my team? I'll put up Gabriel. I think that one is pretty straightforward. There's Rashford as well that I can potentially take out. I could upgrade Wissa as well. Okay, I'll rephrase it, make it easier for you guys. Which transfer would you make? Right, let's say Gabriel to Udogi. There's also Rashford to Madison. There's also Visa, Osula to Visa or Alvarez. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be interested to know. I mean, the options are so great this week that I did have quite a little bit of a headache. There's also a chance I can sell Colwell actually. Right. Russell says highly considering triple captain Haaland but scared too early. How should I? I probably wouldn't. I would still think like triple captaining on a double game week is probably what I would do. So I probably would save it, but I do understand the appeal, especially Fulham at home. Fulham who are selling João Polini. I have no idea why, but I probably wouldn't. I'll probably still just captain him. There probably will be better times to triple captain. Sell Gabriel, yeah, that is definitely on the cards. I mean, let's see what the poll is telling me. You guys like the Udogi move. I mean, that for me, in order of preference, Udogi is Gabriel to Udogi is my preferred move, followed by Rashford to Madison, followed by Osula to Visa. That's currently what I'm thinking about. Gabriel to Trippier for a -4. I probably wouldn't do that. They're playing Brighton this week. I don't think a -4 is necessary for Trippier. Rashford or Martinelli for Madison. I prefer selling Martinelli out of the two. FPL Jenny says, think I go Udogi from that list. Who are you going to bench if you bring in Visa/Alvarez? I probably have to bench Rashford, but that's also, the benching headache is another thing, which is why I would probably still, as you mentioned, right, go for the Udogi move. I think that currently is still where I'm thinking, but I just want to make sure I cover all the other possible moves that I can make. But I am happy with my attackers, right? I'm happy with my attackers, the 7 of them now, right? And I'm not happy with having Gabriel there, so it's definitely someone that I think I'll have to focus on taking out. Roger says, any truth to rumors that Levi Colwell is injured? Well, we'll get to the injury news in a bit, but basically it does not seem as if Levi Colwell is injured anymore. I know he did come off the Wimbledon game, if I'm not wrong. He came off, went down the tunnel, put some ice on his leg, etc. But he's fine, right? Based on the latest press conference. Matt says, I have Emi Martinez and Turner as keepers. Bring in Edison for a -4. Definitely wouldn't make a keeper transfer for a -4. Definitely wouldn't do that. Gabriel for cash for a -4. Not this week as well. Right, I would probably just do, if I don't have to play Gabriel, I'll just bench him. But if you need Gabriel because he's one of your 3 defenders, then Gabriel to a Man City defender for a -4, maybe I would do that. Maybe I would do that. VJ says, don't forget to like. Yes, guys, please do drop a like on the stream if you guys haven't already. We're currently at 12 likes on the stream. If everyone now is watching could just drop a like, that would be awesome. Bench Saliba or Estupinian? I would bench Saliba. Martinelli to Madison for a -4. Right, I'm gonna put up a graphic in a bit talking about Martinelli to Madison or Rashford to Madison, etc. Roger says Mbemo and Vista versus Bournemouth could be good. Yeah, I do think that. George says, hey, consult thoughts on Martinelli to Bowen just for Luton and then take him out for Sterling in game week 5. Do you have a lot of transfers? I mean, if that does not affect your plans moving forward, you can potentially consider that. But I do think like that is a little bit of a luxury move, right? Bringing in Bowen just for Luton and then taking him out for Sterling. I'd probably just go for Sterling right now in game week 5 if in game week 4 now if I was in your position. Kavit says I have Foden and don't have Mbeumo. Is he more essential than Matters or Sterling? I would say that for this week, I think Mbeumo is someone that I would prioritize. I actually do think like for this particular week, especially for the Bournemouth fixture, I prefer having Mbeumo if you guys don't already have him, right? And then probably Madison followed by Sterling. I'll go in that order. But I do think like Mbeumo is just someone that's really cheap that you should try and prioritize at this point in time. Hassan says, how many free transfers do you have? I have 1 free transfer. Who's your favorite 4.5 keeper? Need to get rid of Pickford next week. My favorite 4.5 keeper at this point in time is currently Flecken from Bournemouth. Brentford. Flecken from Brentford, who is playing Bournemouth. Right, so I prefer Flecken simply because of the fixtures. I think like Brentford's fixtures are good and their defensive numbers are pretty decent, right? They have Bournemouth here, sure they have Newcastle in game week 5. I think if you have Turner, you can potentially play him here. But there's Everton, there's Forest after that. I think it's fixtures that Brentford could do really well in defensively, and their numbers are pretty good. 1.0 expected goals conceded per 90, which is, I think, if I'm not wrong, let me check the Fantasy Football Hub statistics. I think it's probably 3rd or 4th in the league, which is really good. Expected goals conceded per 90. Yeah, Brentford are behind Man City, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace. Right, and Crystal Palace. I'll switch over to the... Yeah, so basically... I've ordered, okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but what I've done is I've basically gone by teams, right? Data is by teams and obviously expected goals conceded. You scroll all the way to the bottom, Brentford is here. So Man City's first in terms of expected goals conceded per 90. Obviously, they're really good with their numbers, 0.3 expected goals conceded per 90. Palace is at 0.8, so that's interesting. Arsenal is at 0.9, Brentford's at 1.0. So in terms of my favorite 4.5 keeper, I think it will be Flecken. Yep. We'll get back to this in a bit. Just want to finish up some questions before we get on to the team news. Sawin says Foden hat-trick. I would love that. I do think like there's a good chance Foden will start this week. I do think like that. Who can I transfer in for João Pedro? Alright, I think now is the time to talk about some team news because I do think like João Pedro will start this weekend for a couple of reasons. Let's go over to this is this is Fantasy Football Scout. So basically we'll go one by one. Right, for the major clubs, obviously. Right, so for keepers wise, Roy Hodgson has said that for those of you with Sam Johnstone, not to worry, Sam Johnstone will be starting for Crystal Palace for the Wolves game, right, despite Dean Henderson being included in the squad over the last couple of days. Right, so that's for Crystal Palace. For Brighton, De Zerbi has confirmed on Friday, which is today, that Danny Welbeck will miss tomorrow's home game against Newcastle with a minor muscular issue. So he joins Julio and Ciso on the sidelines, and these are obviously players that are in contention with João Pedro. They're in competition with João Pedro for a spot. So because of that, I do think like João Pedro will start over this weekend, right? So that's something to consider. Richarlison is fine as well, right? Seems to be fit to feature this weekend according to Ange Postecoglou. Couple of other news as well. Foden is fit. Phil is completely recovered from his illness. Akanji was more prevention. He's more or less there. And also John Stones is there as well, right? So Akanji, John Stones and Phil Foden are all players that should be alright for the weekend. And of course, I think last but not least, Rasmus Højlund is set for his debut this weekend against Arsenal. So we could see some fireworks there, right? We could see some fireworks there. I think this is major. These are all the major things that I do want to cover. Of course, Liverpool will be without Van Dijk as well as Ibrahima Konate. So maybe you could see Ollie Watkins or maybe Diaby do quite well this weekend. Let's see, right? If Liverpool can still hold up, right? So that's pretty much the news that I wanted to cover. Easy Shark says, who can I transfer in for João Pedro? So I think I would probably keep João Pedro if I was in your position. I think he starts against Newcastle. If you do want to transfer him and you only have 0.2 in the bank, I don't think you can get to that great replacements. The next best one is probably Vissa from Brentford. FPL Jerry says, Martinelli and Mitoma to Maddison and Mbeumo for me this week. Definitely like the Mitoma to Mbeumo move. Martinelli to Maddison is fine as well. I think those are good moves. Silver Star says, who would you recommend as the third best striker option? Alvarez, Vissa or Isak? I wouldn't move for Isak now. And also he's a little bit of a rotation risk with Wilson. So it will be down to Vissa or Alvarez. And the thing with Alvarez is I think we would see some rotation coming up soon for Champions League as well. So I think Vissa is probably my favorite one, followed by Alvarez and then Isak. Right, bench Rashford, play Saliba. Is it worth it? No, I would play Marcus Rashford. Hassan says, is Akanji injured? No, Akanji is fine. Akanji is fine. Nicolas says, would you roll a transfer in my place? Pickford, Trippier. Oh, Trippier's in your team already. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, March, Odegaard, Saka. I probably wouldn't roll a transfer. I'll probably go Odegaard to either Maddison, Sterling, or Foden. I'll go for that. AJ's in the chat. Nice to see you, AJ. Kavit says, I have 2 free transfers. Thinking about Martinelli to Maddison or Mbeumo. Maybe also Rashford to either. What do you suggest? Use 1 free transfer and roll. I wouldn't take a hit for any of these players or to remove any of these players. You're technically removing good players for other good players. So I would probably just use 1 free transfer. I would do... I prefer selling Martinelli. I prefer selling Martinelli to Rashford. Who should I go with as a third striker long term? I think I answered this one. AC Phantom says, Akanji, Estupinian, Chilwell, Henry, which one to bench? I would bench Estupinian. Roger says, thanks for your advice, my man. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Silverstar says, I'd consider Rashi to Sterling and Martinelli to Maddison. Yeah, those are decent moves. Eze versus Watkins, bench 1 and start 1. What do you think? Oh, this one is tough. Because I do like Eze against Wolves. I also like that Ollie Watkins is playing a Liverpool side that does not have Van Dijk or Konate. I do like that. Wow, that one is tough. I will probably lean towards benching. Man, this one is tough. Maybe Watkins, just because Eze is on penalties. I don't think Watkins is on penalties. AJ says, are you going to transfer Udogi in for Gabriel? Yeah, I have to do my transfer. I probably will do. I have to confirm it on stream. I probably will do Gabriel to Udogi. The other alternative, let me check the poll. The other alternative is Rashford to Madison, which I don't really like. Yeah, you guys all agree Udogi, Gabriel in for Udogi in for Gabriel is the move that I should make. I think so too. I think so too. Hassan says, isn't Robert Sanchez a good option? I think he's not in the ideal triple ups for Chelsea. Right, if you want to triple up on Chelsea, it'd probably be Sterling, Chilwell, and then Jackson. Assuming you don't want to triple up and you're fine to do with either of Sterling or Nicholas Jackson, then maybe Sanchez is the one to go for, right? But I just wouldn't want to block the third Chelsea slot with going for Robert Sanchez. Give me a moment. The early game today is actually West Ham and Luton. Doubt we're gonna get any early team news whatsoever. But let's just be sure, and I'll just check as and when. Right. Mbeumo or Foden, I would definitely think that Mbeumo is safer, right? Ali Amadi says, I'm at 1.1 million rank right now. I'm captaining Mbeumo for the differential high risk, high reward. I hope that one goes well for you. Someone in my league, in my prize league for members, someone captained Sterling last week and benched Haaland in the FPL Consult Prize League. So not the one with the code at the top here. Is for members, and honestly that guy it's go big or go home. But this week I just think it's so much more risky. Right. Not that Haaland against Sheffield wasn't risky at all, but that was just super risky. This week he plays Fulham at home. I think that would be too risky there. Odegaard or Rashford, if you're talking about selling, I would sell Odegaard ahead of Rashford. I think I should put up the chart as well. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, so this is actually from the preview video, but I did want to talk a little bit about this. In which case, it kind of helps to depict who I would sell first ahead of others when it comes to United and Arsenal assets. I know there are teams with double United, there are also teams with double Arsenal as well. So that's 4 attackers that are playing each other, and it's tougher teams as well. So if I had Odegaard, I think it's an easy sell. Right, I would sell Martinelli ahead of Rashford for a couple of reasons. I think rotation-wise, Martinelli is more at risk. Right, Rashford, you will still get minutes from him, consistent starts from him. I think when Champions League comes in, maybe we see more of Trossard here to rotate with Martinelli. And then, of course, up top is Saka and Bruno. I would definitely hold those two if I had them. Right. Yeah, so Odegaard or Rashford, I would sell Odegaard ahead of Rashford. Cash or White? I definitely don't really like Ben White. Matty Cash, I would go for him, but just not this game week. I think if I was transferring in a defender this week, it'd probably be Udogi, maybe go for Trippier a little bit earlier, or a City defender. It's probably where I would go this week. Replacement for João Pedro, I think the best one is Visa at this point in time. Florence says, I think this week is the week Chilwell will haul big. Let's hope. Let's hope he actually takes the shot instead of passing it off. I mean, he had a great chance to score last week. Right. Let me put up my team. Yeah, I do have to make my transfer soon. Gonna have to decide. Albert says, I have the wildcard active. Who are the best 5 midfielders to get? If I was on a wildcard, I did put out a wildcard video this week. If I was on a wildcard, my midfielders would be Bruno Fernandes, Bukayo Saka, Maddison, Sterling, and Mbeumo. These would be my 5 midfielders. Roger says, I'm not convinced on Sterling. He had a good game against Luton and everyone is saying he's such a good transfer. I think it's mainly because of the fixtures, right? I definitely think that he's not suddenly a fantastic player. I mean, he always had it in him, but I do agree that him playing Luton is something that we need to take into account, that Luton is not an amazing side. And obviously Sterling doing well against Luton does not mean he'll do well against other teams. Right, so I definitely agree with that, but it's just the fixtures I think that's swaying people a little bit. Albert says drink with the right hand and not left. I'm a left-hander, man. I'm a left-hander. Watkins to Jackson for a -4. Definitely wouldn't do that this week. Steve-O says another difficult one here. I've got Baldock and his fixture versus Everton looks good. He could go in for either Estupinian or Saliba. What is your thoughts? Wow, this one is a tough one as well. I would probably play Estupinian ahead of Baldock, right? So it'd probably be Estupinian, Baldock, and then Saliba in that order. Is Saka on pens now, or will Odegaard take some? I think Saka is still the first choice taker, but Odegaard can definitely take some penalties now and then. I still feel like the default first choice taker is Saka. VJ says Estupinian or Ruben. If I was buying one this game week, it's definitely Ruben Diaz. If I was starting, I would also start Diaz ahead of Estupinian. Roger says, oh yeah, you just reminded me of the Chilwell goal chance last week. Why not shoot? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you saw the Instagram post after that, but he did say he needs to train. He needs to practice his shooting after that. To which James Maddison replied, what did James Maddison reply? He said, you don't need to practice your shooting. You need to practice making the decision to shoot, which is true. Abbott says 5 defenders for wildcard. Yeah, I said this. Bruno, Saka, Sterling, Maddison, Mbeumo. Marco Frello says Singaporean. Yes, I am Singaporean. John David says, have you had Eze for long? Yes, I have had Eze for quite a while. It's been a tough hold, I'll be honest. Like, he hasn't returned at all. 3 points in the first game against Sheffield for that clean sheet here. And then 2 appearance points after that. If I really need to see something from him, like I do need to see something from him soon, right? Because it's been tough. I know people are starting to jump on him, but I may jump off him because it has been tough. Should I go -4 to change Mitoma to Sterling? Well, it really depends what your first move is already. But in isolation, I think Mitoma to Sterling for a -4, I probably wouldn't do that. Probably wouldn't do that. About says, I have Gabriel, Baldock, and Botman. Who to sell to who? I will probably sell Gabriel. I think definitely he's the biggest issue there. Udogi, maybe that's the move that I'm thinking about. John David says, yeah, surely a haul coming, just the FOMO of other players. Exactly. Madan says, I've got 1 million in the bank for game week 4 to game week 8. Should I do Mitoma to Sterling and hold Martinelli, or Martinelli to Madison and hold Mitoma? I would sell Mitoma. Ahead of Martinelli because the fixtures are just not great at all. When do we sell Brighton attackers? You can sell them this week already. I think it's fine to sell Brighton attackers or even defenders. I'm fine with the idea of selling Estupinian even. Right? I'm fine with the idea of that. Will Luis Diaz start? I think he will start. I mean, at this point in time, he looks like Liverpool's best attacker. Aside from Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez, to be honest, I have no idea why he's not starting. But I think Darwin Núñez is the best Liverpool attacker or the sharpest right now. Followed by Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz has been pretty decent. So I do think he'll start. Which one of these would you replace with Foden, Mbeumo, Mitoma, Diaby, Saka, Rashford? Definitely not Mbeumo. Diaby, I think you can keep him for long term all the way until you wildcard. Saka as well. I would probably go Mitoma to Foden. Yeah. Silverstar says, I've got a feeling about Diaby long term for wildcard users. Yeah. Definitely, I think Diaby is someone that I'm looking to bring Diaby in as well. When Aston Villa's fixtures turn good. I think that one is probably around game week 9, if I'm not wrong. Alright, after the Brighton fixture, game week 8. Right, game week 8 onwards I think is fine. Now they have Liverpool, then they have Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace not an easy game by any means. Chelsea and Brighton. So game week 8 onwards, I think Matty Cash or Diaby, Watkins, these are going to be popular players by then. Do you think Martinelli to Foden / Sterling would be worth a hit? Nah, I wouldn't take a hit for them. Madison already owned. Yeah, I wouldn't take a hit to do Madison to do Martinelli to Sterling. Right. Okay, I gotta make my transfer soon. I think I'm settled on the move that is slightly safer. I think slightly safer, but I just don't like the idea of having Gabriel in my team anymore. He just makes it so difficult. I'll take him out for Udogi. I don't think Rashford to Madison is a move that I'll be happy with at the end of the day. Yeah, and upgrading I don't see a need to upgrade Osula right now as well. So Gabriel to Udogi, I think I'll lock it in. I'll probably lock it in, right? But let's put it here and see how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean even the news about Udogi getting injured a little bit towards the end of last week's game, that one wasn't very serious at all as well. Right, so I think I'll make my transfer. I think I'll make the transfer right now. Let's see. Gabriel out, Udogi in, 0 points. Right, yeah, let's confirm it. Alright, so transfer made. Right, free transfer used. Udogi is in the team now. So the question now is start him ahead of Estupinian or drop Colwell to the bench and then play Estupinian as well. I mean the thing about Estupinian is I feel like I should be benching him against Newcastle, but his ownership is just ridiculous. You guys can't see it, but it's 64.1. So if he goes on some mega haul like he did against Wolves, 1 goal and 1 assist for a defender, at 64%, that's just gonna kill me. Alright, I'll save my team first. Right, team has been saved. Let me refresh the page. Probably go into the week like this. Estupinian first on bench. Let's see how I feel about that. Let's see how I feel about that. Alright. Roger says, are Estupinian's days numbered? I think so. I mean, after Brighton, right, so if I could load us, alright, let me put us into a transfer planner. I'll go over to Fantasy Football Hub. I do want to show you guys the rotation. Let me see how I should do this. But basically, why I've brought in Estupiñán, Udogie is because of the rotation with Estupiñán. Because I do want to play Estupiñán for game week 6. Right. So what I've done, I'll just show you guys. So what I've done is I've sold Gabriel and I've also brought in Udogie. Right. So from here you can already see. I play Udogie here. I probably bench Estupinian, right, when he plays Newcastle here for Game Week 4. Come Game Week 5, I'm fine to start Udogie as well because Estupinian has Manchester United away, right? And then come Game Week 6, I can start Estupinian when Udogie has Arsenal. So that's kind of why I like the Udogie move, which is obviously something I considered even before making the transfer. Right, then I bench Udogie here, I start Estupinian. Colwell may potentially be someone else by the time we get to Game Week 6. Right? Even in Game Week 5, there's a chance I can sell him for Trippier if I do want to get Trippier as well. Right, so in terms of defenders at least, that's just what I'm thinking about. And that's kind of why Udogie plus Estupinian is what I like. For rotation. So going back to my team, right? Udogie in now and Estupinian on the bench. I think this is what I'll probably go with this week. Let me know what you guys think. About says, do you have a Discord server, bro? Yes, I do. I do have a Discord server. I get on there every hour before the deadline. So usually I stream 3 hours before the deadline and then I move over to Discord for all the members. So as you guys can see above me here, the tier 2 members have a Discord channel and a chat with me. So if you guys do want to join it as well, it's for members and you can click the first link in the description to become a member. Of course, it supports the channel as well, so I really appreciate if you guys do check it out. Rajan says, I took Rashford and Pedro out for a -4 for Sterling and Jackson. Well, Sterling and Jackson definitely good long-term picks. Not so sure whether it's worth a -4 now, but at least you're doing it early. So you do have time for it to pay off. I have Madison, Foden, Bruno, Mbeumo, and Saka. I wanted to get Sterling in, but I think Jackson could cover it, or at least I hope so, yeah. Sterling or Jackson, I think now that I've gone for Jackson already, I've kind of made my bid and I'm going to lie in it because I don't see how I can fit Sterling in, especially since I have Levi Colwell. Say I don't have Levi Colwell, would I be tempted to do Rashford to Sterling? I think the temptation would be there. That's the truth. If I had one free transfer lying around, no need to address players like Gabriel, etc., I probably would do it. That's the thing. Is Diaby the best March/Mitoma replacement? I think the best March/Mitoma replacement is Mbeumo first. That guy has to be in your team, I think. John says, I made Bowen and Pinnock for a -4. Right now, the midfield is Saka, Bowen, Foden, and Mbeumo Diaz. Thinking of another -4 to get Udogie, just to get a return, hopefully, from Spurs, if any should. I wouldn't do a -4, another -4 to get Udogie. Eze to Diaby looks like a good move for your team. That's something that can be considered, I'll be honest. But right now, just not for the moment. I think Crystal Palace's fixtures are good enough for me, for now at least. He plays Wolves, Fulham, and Forest all at home in the next 5, right? Of course, they have away games in between, but in the next 5, I think Eze looks pretty good. Right? I will need to see something from him. That's the truth. Like, he's a differential for me that has to start returning. BJ says, always happy to moderate. Right, so those of you guys in the chat who have always been in the chat, and if you guys are interested in becoming moderators, I can upgrade you guys to a moderator. I do need to get some more moderators as well. So I'll try and upgrade VJ to a moderator. Let's see. Alright, so I've given VJ the moderating abilities. Let me know if that one works. But if you guys are interested to become moderators, do let me know in the chat, because I did want to reach out to get some moderators as well. But thank you very much, VJ, for helping out. You have one free transfer. Who was your another transfer? Nah. I only had one free transfer. So I did Gabriel to Udogi the week before. I did Salah out for Foden, and I brought Nicholas Jackson in, which actually worked out. It actually worked out because Salah got an assist, but Jackson plus Foden kind of outscored Salah plus João Pedro. I have Estupinian, Pedro, and Mitoma. Have to play at least one of them, or take the transfer one of them out. I would just play Estupinian out of all of these players. Oh wait, you have Mitoma. I will play Mitoma. Mitoma, Estupinian, and Pedro in that order. Gabriel or Estupinian to play. Ian, I think you gotta get rid of Gabriel. Estupinian is definitely preferred ahead of Gabriel for me. When is the international break? International break is after game week 4. After game week 4 and before game week 5. Is Pinnock a risk since Ben Mee is fit and just start the cup? I do think like Pinnock is still first choice. We'll wait and see, but I do think like it's. If I was you, I would probably bench Colwell and not Estupinian. I don't think Chelsea will keep a clean sheet either. To be honest, Forest have scored on all big teams this season. That is something I'll have to think about, right? Colwell or Estupinian? Which would you guys start? I need to change the poll now. Let me change the poll. We've made the transfer. I've gone with what you guys said. Right, so I ended the poll. Let's do start 1. Choose one to start, Colwell or Estupinian. Let me know what you guys think. I've already gone with the move that you guys recommended, but I already, that was already my preference anyways. Okay. Salah is here on the chat. Is that the real Salah? I mean, I highly doubt. Pochettino's defensive tactics have improved. I agree, but against West Ham, I think we just crumbled. Man. Last chance for Rashford this week. Yeah, this is... Nah, I mean... Who does he have next week? He has Brighton. Brighton have been conceding loads of chances. I'm thinking of starting Kabore ahead of Colwell, mainly because Colwell might not be risked after his slight ankle injury, but I honestly can see a Luton clean sheet, and Kabori has a great XG so far. Kabori versus Colwell. I just can't back the Luton defense against West Ham, who's scoring for fun right now. I can't agree that I see a Luton clean sheet. I don't see a Luton clean sheet. So any opposition, I'll start Colwell. But Estupinian versus Colwell is a whole different story. It's a whole different story. Oh, it's 50-50 now. It's 50-50 now. It's not as straightforward as it seems. Soldier Boy, please help me start 3. Variol, Estupinian, Saliba, Udogi, Chilwell, Rashford. 3. I would start Variol, Udogi, Chilwell, and Rashford. Man, that's too many players there that you'd be benching that are so good. Variol, Udogi, Chilwell, and Rashford. I would bench Saliba and Estupinian. Yeah, probably. Is Salah a keep? I just don't like the positions that Salah was taking up. As a Salah owner in Game Week 1, Game Week 2, I saw enough to sell him in Game Week 3 because I just don't think he's kind of playing in the... Salah is a different kind of player from the way that he was performing last time. Right, and of course, even penalties now, it seems as if I feel like there's a chance we may see McAllister take some, maybe. Let's see, but I mean, probably would be very unlikely, but I still feel like Salah's penalties aren't the best at all. Start Vissa or Bruno. I definitely have to start Bruno. You definitely have to start Bruno. Should I swap Saka, Rashford, and Gabriel for Bowen, Madison, and Isak? I would keep Saka. Gabriel, I think you can sell. Rashford, I don't think it's a must to sell Bowen as well. Yeah. Choose one to start this week. Kabore, Baldock, Archer. That one's easy. I have Odegaard and thinking of taking a 1 week punt on Bowen, confused between him and Madison. I just think it's not worth it to bring Bowen in now because you want him for 1 week and then you don't want him anymore. I am aware that the Luton fixture looks really good for Bowen, but you may as well just get Sterling or Madison and then just keep them for the long haul. Over the next 2 to 3 game weeks, I think maybe they even score the same points, right? As compared to Bowen, of course. Eze to Diaby is not for this week. But I think moving forward into game week 8, as I mentioned, maybe Eze to Diaby. Maybe. Thoughts on bringing in Fernandes? I kind of avoided that myself as well. Like Marcus Rashford, I've chosen to stick with him and not do Rashford to Fernandes. Right? So I feel like I don't think Bruno Fernandes... It just seems sideways now. If I were to do Bruno Fernandes in. Just give me a moment. Right. Alright, some of you guys want to be moderators as well. Let me... Right, I can't upgrade everyone. Right, I'll see what I can do. Thank you guys for offering though. Alright, I'll make Roger a moderator. For those of you guys who are interested, just let me know. I'd appreciate anyone who's down to moderate the chat. Sean says Gabriel to Udogi or roll, and I will need to play Baldock or Kabore. then definitely Gabriel to Udogi. I mean, the way I see it and the reason why I did it is because it's just a transfer waiting to happen. Alright, I could obviously roll and just play Estupinian ahead of Gabriel, and then just bench Gabriel and just be happy with that. But I just felt like it's just an issue that needs to be solved eventually. So may as well just get Udogi for this Burnley away fixture. I have a free transfer for a goalkeeper. Currently, I have Onana and Pickford. Thinking of replacing Pickford with Flecken. What are your thoughts? I'd actually prioritize getting rid of Onana, if I'm honest. And in your position, I think you can do Onana to Areola. And then you'll be Areola, you'll be with the keeper pairing of Areola and Pickford. So that one is interesting. Gabriel to Udogi for a -4. Nah, I wouldn't. So I'm just thinking about whether I would do that move for my team with a -4. I think you may as well just start someone like a Estupinian if you had. Rashford's price is already dropping. Yeah, it's already dropping. That's the truth. Right, I'm really not catching up with the chat right now, but thank you guys for interacting so much today. I do appreciate that. If you guys are still watching and you haven't liked the stream, please drop a like as well. That one really helps the reach for the YouTube algorithm. Where we at? Take Estupinian. Brighton has so many attacks built. Gotta hope one attacking return comes from Estupinian. Okay, so the poll right now is 58% Estupinian. You guys want me to play Estupinian ahead of Colwell? I've got to sit on that one. I mean, for sure, Estupinian has better goal threat. Colwell would definitely be a 6-point merchant. Man, this one is tough. I mean, I don't know how I feel about benching Levi Colwell though. Definitely not liking this as much. Newcastle are pretty alright defensively as well though. Let's add that as well. Colwell might not even start. I don't think we have enough defenders if Colwell doesn't start. Like the options just aren't that great. The options just aren't that great for us. Disasi, there's also Thiago Silva, but Levi Colwell, and that's pretty much it. If you want to play that kind of formation that we've been playing, obviously. Rashford or Mitoma for Madison. This one's easy. It's Mitoma for Madison. I've used my wildcard this week. I have a debate for 2 spots. Vardiol versus Ruben Diaz and Mbeumo for Foden. What should I do? I would go for Ruben Diaz and Mbeumo. Those are safer picks, and if I was wildcarding, I would have a good balance of safe picks as well as some differentials here and there. I've used my free transfers on Chukwuemeka and João Pedro, so I'm stuck with Gabriel for now. Then bench him keep him on your bench. Colwell versus Estupinian is close. With Palhinha almost confirming the move, Foden could be in. Yeah. Exactly. Bruno to Madison and Saliba to Udogi. I wouldn't do Bruno to Madison. Saliba to Udogi, I think I like it a little bit more. 82 votes now. 82 votes, and you guys prefer to start Estupinian. 2 free transfers, Richarlison to Ward-Prowse and João Pedro to Darwin, or roll the second transfer. Wow, those are dangerous moves, I'll be honest. Ward-Prowse, I like the fixture in game week 4, but I don't like it after that, so I wouldn't go for that. João Pedro to Darwin. Darwin is also not someone that's 100% confirmed to start. Right, so Richarlison is probably going to start against Burnley. If you want to do João Pedro and you have funds, it seems you have funds, I'll probably go for like maybe Jackson or something. I have Foden, Sterling, Saka, and Mbeumo. What midfielder would be the best to bring in at any price? Foden, Sterling, Saka, and Mbeumo. Maddison? I think you go for Maddison. Roger says, who is the Spurs penalty taker? I'm hoping it's Maddison. Well, we don't really know now still. That's gonna be massive, especially for the Maddison owners as well. Thanks VJ for moderating the chat. I appreciate it. Please don't spam as well. Alex says, I don't know if you saw the midweek cup game, Chelsea versus Wimbledon, but Cole went off straight down the tunnel. It's not serious, just a slight ankle injury. Surely you wouldn't risk him. We don't really have much to play for though, Chelsea. I'll be honest, and the thing is, in the latest press conference, Pochettino did say not really much of an issue with Colwell. So yeah. Right, thank you guys for all the offers to moderate, but I will I think we have enough for the time being. Colwell has Nottingham Forest at home. That's 6 points in the bag. If it was that easy. Our knee will score. I mean, just get it out of the way. If he's gonna score, just do it early. Just do it in the first 10 minutes. Do it in the first 10 minutes and just put me out of my misery. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with starting Estupinian against Newcastle, I'll be honest. Just can't decide. What's the poll saying now? It's 52-48. I mean, trust your gut. If you want to start Colwell, do it. Dwayne says, who do you think will start, Henderson or Johnstone? I currently have Johnstone with Turner on the bench. Well, this week, Roy Hodgson has come out and already said that Johnstone will start this week. Right, so not to worry for Johnstone owners. Forest are not good away. I'm backing Chelsea clean sheet this week. Well, from a clean sheet, right, let me just show you guys the clean sheet percentages. By the way, if you guys do want to follow me on Instagram, it's a shameless plug, but I do put up some graphics every week on Instagram. So basically I put up clean sheet odds. I also put up a fixture run. I post my latest team as well. In the event that I couldn't stream, right, I post my latest team, etc. So in the event that I can't get a stream out, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to just follow my team all the way. Right, so I also have other stuff there. I have clean sheet odds, predicted points, fixture run, etc. So do check it out. But back to the clean sheet odds. 50% for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Right? But do bear in mind that last week they scored twice against United at Old Trafford. Right? So that's also something else that's playing on my mind. Brighton's clean sheet percentages aren't great at all. I mean, it's 23%. I definitely think Newcastle's going to get something there. Definitely feel like they're going to get something. And if you look at let me pull up the stats as well, which is one of the reasons why I still think I'm going to favor starting Levi Colwell, is it's just the expected goals conceded numbers, right? I showed you guys just now for Brighton. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. But alright, so for expected goals conceded, you don't really want this number to be that big. Let me enlarge the screen. Right, for expected goals conceded, you don't want this number to be that big. Right, it's 3.5 expected goals conceded. This is per 90 for Luton Town. Right, so obviously they're a team that's conceding so many chances. They're expected to concede 3.5 goals a game. You look at Brighton's one. It's not fantastic at all. Right, it's 2.1 expected goals conceded per 90. Right, they're in the bottom half in terms of expected goals conceded. Right, the top few are Man City, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Brentford. Chelsea is here at 1.0. Right, so I think I have to favor I'm just talking myself into favoring the clean sheet for Chelsea here. I mean, I probably am gonna stick with Colwell, but it's close. It's definitely pretty close. I'll be honest. And Estupinian, obviously 64% ownership. He's gonna destroy me. He's definitely gonna destroy me. Alright. Let me just get back to the chat. I know I've missed a lot. Yep, no spamming the chat. Brighton and Newcastle are equally matched, and Estupinian blank is well within the realms of possibility. I mean, I would hope so. Exactly why I think I'm gonna start Colwell. I feel like that's the case. Any news on Reece James' return? He's not returning this week yet. Rashford or Maddison? I wouldn't buy Rashford. I'd buy Maddison. Subham says, please give tips to win FPL. I want to watch my favorite team play in London. Well, let me be honest with you. If you want to win FPL, you got to put your loyalties aside when it comes to your own club that you support. That's the truth. Like, I'm a Chelsea fan. This is one of the first times I've had Colwell, Chilwell, and Jackson. Basically, triple Chelsea. This is one of the first times I've had triple Chelsea in, I think, two to three seasons. In the past couple of seasons, I haven't had triple Chelsea. I'll be honest, I know we're not that good. And now we're starting to get a little bit better, right? And next week, maybe Colwell's out of my team, right? So we'll see. But I'll be honest, like, if you want to win FPL, you gotta just put the fan loyalties aside. Can you make a wildcard team, please? Right, let me just pull up the one on Instagram. Because I did put up a wildcard draft here. Right, so this is my wildcard draft for Gameweek 4. Once again, it's on Instagram. If you guys do want to follow me there, you will be able to just see all the content that I post. But if I was on a wildcard, this is the team I would go with, right? I go with Flecken and Areola. And then my back five, Trippier, Vardiol, Udogi, and Chilwell. And then Kabore is a bench fodder. Trippier will be on the bench for this week if I was wildcarding with this team. And then after that in midfield, there's Saka, Fernandes, Mbeumo, Maddison, Sterling. This is the midfield five, I think for now, seems the most ideal. Right, and then up front, Jackson, Haaland, and Archer. So Archer, of course, probably going to play for Sheffield as their first choice striker. Right. Ian says go for Colwell. Yeah, probably gonna go for Colwell. Start João Pedro or Archer. I'll start João Pedro. Why aren't you installing FPL tools on Chrome extension? I just like the plain old look, man. I just like the plain old look. Pick one for a -4. Gabriel to Udogi, Martinelli to Maddison, or Watkins to Jackson. Definitely wouldn't do Gabriel to Udogi for a -4. Or Martinelli to Maddison or Watkins to Jackson. If I was gonna take a -4, I don't like all these for a -4, but I think I would just, if I had to do it, maybe Martinelli to Madison. You bringing in Sterling, your take. I do like Sterling, right? I do like that Sterling looks pretty good for the next couple of game weeks as well. Definitely like Sterling. Gusto or Vardiol on the bench. I would go for Gusto on the bench. Vardiol just, I mean, they're playing Fulham. And to be honest, like Gusto wasn't that attacking. Like I'll be honest. Like the first assist he passed to Sterling and Sterling did the rest. The second one, right, I'll give him credit for that one. Right, so I still think Vardiol is higher on expected points this week as well. Todd says, I need help deciding. I've got a midfield of Bruno, Saka, Rashford, Eze, and Mitoma. I have 2 free transfers to use. Maybe Mitoma to Mbeumo. You can consider Rashford to Madison or Sterling as your second transfer. Alex says, imagine how bad they're going to feel if Chelsea concede and Colwell is on a 2-pointer and Estupiñán hauls later that day. Worst case scenario is you're 4 points down. Colwell versus... That is true. I mean, that is true. But I honestly just don't see Estupiñán hauling. That's the truth. EO for Estupiñán is definitely not great. Like, that's the truth. I also have 1.8 in the bank, Todd says. I have Pedro up front with Haaland. If you have 6 points, that will probably be 6 point something. If you can afford Jackson at 7.1, I'd probably go for Jackson. If not, you can go for Vissa. Yep. George says, I don't trust Chelsea with a clean sheet. Nottingham Forest might be garbage, but Ewani is on fire. Just killing it. Guys, the poll is at 50-50. It's 50-50 right now. 136 votes. It's at 50-50. I mean, thank you for being very, very helpful. Estupiñán, Saliba, or Cash bench 1. I feel like they all concede this week, so I just bench Saliba with the lowest goal threat. Start Akanji or Saliba, I would start Akanji. Vardiol versus Henry, any suggestions? I'll start Vardiol. Buy Madison or Foden, I would buy Madison. I've kind of made my bid with Foden, so I'm gonna lie in it. I'm so glad you, like me, have Eze and still have Eze. It's not been easy. That's the truth. It has not been easy as an Eze owner. There's no pun intended. Would you buy Udogi or Cash to hold on to Game Week 9? Both rotate well with my other defenders. I just don't like Cash's fixtures until from Game Week 8 onwards, so I just buy Udogi. Yeah. Udogi, Madison, or Sterling? What do you mean? What do you mean Udogi, Madison, or Sterling? If you're buying, I prioritize Madison, then Udogi, and then Sterling. Help. Which one of Odegaard or Rashford out for Madison or Sterling? I would sell Odegaard first, ahead of Rashford. Start Onana or Turner, right? So this is a question that has come up. Chelsea away for Nottingham Forest. I mean, I'm gonna go full in here and just hope that Chelsea destroy Nottingham Forest, which is probably what's gonna be the case. I mean, I definitely have to favor Chelsea here, right? So I definitely and if that's the case, I have to bench Turner and I have to start Onana. Anyways, I do think like there's more save points for Onana. Onana's not gonna keep a clean sheet. I'm pretty certain about that. Martinelli to Foden or Maddison. I would buy Maddison if I was buying one this week. Foden versus Mbeumo and Diaz versus Vardy on a wild card. I'll go for Mbeumo and I'd go for Ruben Diaz. I'm basically telling everyone not to buy Foden even though I have Foden. But I just wouldn't buy Foden this week if I didn't buy him last week. The midfielder I would buy this week is James Maddison. Yeah. Is Vissel worth it now that Mopé is back? I mean, they're playing for different teams, so... I want to have Foden, but I have Stones on the bench since game week 1. No free transfers, what to do? Well, the thing is, it seems as if Stones is back. It seems as if. Man. I don't think you need to want to have Foden. That's my honest answer to that. That's my honest answer. Should I bring in Trippier? Or I would say Trippier ahead of Beto, but the thing with Trippier is I do want to see moving forward how it's going to look like for Newcastle as well. I feel like there may be a chance that there could be some rotation. So I'm not really 100%. I'm not as hot on Trippier as I was a couple of days ago. I mean, I look at their Champions League draw, and I already knew there's going to be rotation, but that's just such a tough group for them that I think rotation is just even more likely. Right. My thoughts on Colwell versus Estupiñán is estimated that both teams do well. Double Chelsea wouldn't be so good. But if there's a chance Brighton don't concede, there's at least a chance to get 1 clean sheet points. Can go either way. Double clean sheet, yeah. I mean, that's exactly the danger of going for double Chelsea. But last week I did it. Somehow it paid off against Luton Town. So definitely the attack isn't as good as Nottingham Forest. So I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna favor this. Estupiñán plays Newcastle. I mean, I like Newcastle's defense. So start Gusto or Estupiñán. I would start Gusto ahead of Estupiñán. I'd be more comfortable starting Gusto ahead of Estupiñán instead of Colwell ahead of Estupiñán, because Colwell is just a 6-point merchant, right? But obviously Colwell is safer for the long term, which is why I went for him from the start, right? So I wouldn't have an issue like Malo Gusto right now. Mopé is joining Brentford on loan. I see. Man, I still feel like Vissa is gonna be first choice for him. I mean, I don't think even if he joins on loan that he's gonna start immediately. That's the thing. Pedro to Antonio. Nah, West Ham probably not. I probably wouldn't go West Ham. I have Estupiñán and Chilwell. Need another defender. Any recommendations? Udogi, Vardiol, Trippier if you want to go early. Rico Henry is fine as well. Roger says with Jesus being fit, that will affect Martinelli's minutes because Trossard and Havertz are expensive signings to have on the bench. Well, I mean, I definitely feel like Martinelli will have his minutes rotated. Like, I do feel like that's gonna be the case, and that's gonna be what we see. So, yeah. João Pedro to Morris. I wouldn't go there. Shaw replacements. My preference would be Udogi if you don't have already. If not, you can also go for Vardiol if you want a City defender. If you want a secure City defender, there's also Ruben Diaz if you have a little bit more money, right? So, and aside from that, there's also Trippier if you want to go early. Yep. FPL Gov. Oh, it's Toby. Toby's in the chat. He's changed his name to FPL Gov. I love that. I love that. Toby has been a member for quite a while already. If you guys do want to interact with all the other members in the Discord, right, in our Discord above me here, I'll be jumping over to the Discord in a bit after the stream, right? So do check it out if you guys want to become members. Roger says Evan Ferguson should be starting ahead of João Pedro in my opinion, but maybe I'm biased being from Ireland. I like Evan Ferguson's style of play. I'll be honest. Like, I think he's just a great number 9. João Pedro, I think he should be playing in a number 10 position. I just don't feel like they should be fighting for a spot. Right. So hopefully this weekend we see Evan Ferguson up front and we see João Pedro at number 10. Enzo to Madison, Sterling, or who? In terms of midfielders, I prefer Madison out of Madison, Sterling, and Foden. Sterling or Madison? Yeah, I mean, you got your answer. Eric says, I have Shaw, Holgate, Trippier, Veltman, Chilwell, Madison, Barnes. Well. 3.8 in the bank, 1 free transfer. What do you do? What do you advise? Loads of money in the bank, 1 free transfer. I feel like I would try to prioritize a Chelsea attacker in your position. So maybe Odegaard to Raheem Sterling. Right? If not, there's Mitoma to Mbeumo as well that you can do. Yep. Elias says, is Antonio a long-term pick or only for this game week despite the new signing? I think Antonio is just someone that you only want him for this game week, I feel. Right? So it's just too risky. I wouldn't go for someone like Antonio. West Ham fixtures just aren't that great after this game week. Let's just take a look. Right, this is Bowen. Yeah, the fixtures, I mean, it's Luton and then it's Man City, Liverpool. Yeah, Sheffield is fine, but then there's Newcastle as well. So from game week 5 and 6, it's horrible. And then game week 8 is bad as well. So I just wouldn't go for a West Ham attacker. Yeah. Got the exact same team as you, but Gabriel instead of Colwell and Pickford instead of Onana. Do I make any transfers this week? I have 1 free transfer. If you have Gabriel instead of Colwell, I would start Estupinian, obviously. Pickford ahead of Onana, I think you can start Pickford. In that case, if you have 1 free transfer, maybe you can roll. Or you can take Gabriel out. That's another thing you can do. Saka or Madison, out for Madison to allow João Pedro to Jackson. I wouldn't sell Saka for Madison. Yeah. I have Estupinian, Diaz, Henry, Udogi, and Chilwell. Who do I start? I feel like all of them you can start ahead of Estupinian. Right, because Estupinian plays Newcastle. He's on my bench. I am coming around to the idea that I don't think Estupinian is going to do that well this week. Obviously, it may massively backfire. Right. Rashford to Madison for a -4. Nah, I wouldn't do that. Botman for Udogi, Rashford for Madison, -4 hit leaves 1.8 in the bank. What do you think? Botman for Udogi, I wouldn't do that. Rashford for Madison for free, I can consider. Toby says VJ is Irwin. No, Irwin is not in the chat today. Zachary says 1 free transfer. Would you change Odegaard for Madison or roll given it's the international break and I've booked in Trippier for game week 5? feel like Odegaard can be sold though. And I do prefer James Maddison, like even these for this fixture, I just like James Maddison. So I think I probably would go James Maddison. I make that move, Zachary. Best defenders besides DS and Chilwell, Udogi. There's also Trippier. There's also Trippier soon, right? Maybe next game week. There's also Vardiol, decent consideration there. Rico Henry, Matty Cash. Those are the ones. Roger says, what week are you planning to wildcard? I would probably wildcard. There's two windows I see. The first one being game week 9, which is after the international break, the second international break. There's a couple of fixture swings there that make it attractive to wildcard then. But I think the way that my team is shaping up, I may not need it for game week 9. And if I don't need it, I think I'll save it until game week 18, game week 19, around that period. Yeah. I think there are quite a couple of teams that have fixtures turning good from game week 9 onwards, like Aston Villa, West Ham as well. Spurs, their fixtures will pick up after the game against Arsenal and Liverpool in 6 and 7. So I think there's enough of a swing for you to justify wanting to wildcard in 9, but I think it may not be necessary. So come the time, I'll consider again, right? And also, of course, take a look at how the team is shaping up. Eze to Maddison, if you've already got Udogi, wow, Eze to Maddison. I just wouldn't do it this game week because Eze, I just have a feeling about him. I don't think it's necessary to sell Eze. In fact, people are looking to bring him in. So I would give him one last week if you have Eze. (3-4-3) with Ewoni or 3-5-2 with Mitoma. I prefer the 3-5-2. 2.8 in the bank. Maddison for Mitoma or Martinelli. I would sell Mitoma this week. Yeah. I wouldn't go for Alvarez. Ali Mac says who to start, Saliba or Kabori. Wow. I think Saliba ahead of Kabori. I think West Ham do pretty well. I'm ranked 19 and it's the first time to play 19k. And it's the first time I'm playing FPL, part of my score. Should I wildcard for better? Well, if you are 19k right now, you must be doing something good. I don't think you need to wildcard. Teams that are scoring really well in game week 1, 2, and 3, they should be fine for game week 4 as well. Right, game week 4 as well. Rico Henry, Gusto, or Colwell, who to transfer in? Out of all these players, my preference is Rico Henry. Yeah, out of these three, if I have to choose. Right, so guys, the poll, it's gotten to 200 votes now. It's at 194 votes, and it's 50-50 still. 50% Colwell, 50% Estupiñán. This one's gonna bite me in the where I don't want it to. This one is just gonna come down to the wire, man. I feel like I'll be more happy with my decision if I started Colwell than until Estupiñán hauls against Newcastle. I feel like just gotta back my team here, man. Do you think Martinelli can haul this week? I mean, Manchester United's defense is in shambles now, so anything can happen, right? I don't think he's a must sell, Martinelli, right? But I would sell him ahead of other midfielders. Do you start Trippier or Udogi? If you already have Trippier, Probably have to start Trippier. If you have Trippier, probably have to start him, I think. Much better goal threat than Udogie. Do you put Gabriel last on my bench? I have Kabore and Osula. Yeah, I just don't think Gabriel is a good option anymore. I'll probably put him last on the bench. Udogie, wow, interesting. Any reason for Onana instead of Turner? I just feel like Chelsea are gonna score. Same goes for Onana as well, but I think Onana is gonna face more shots on target. I think Arsenal's attack is just stronger, so I feel like Onana is gonna make more saves. Yeah, that's pretty much. Gary says, hi Leon, thinking of Onana to Edison, Martinelli to Sterling, João Pedro to Antonio, or Turner to a 4.5. 2 free transfers. Which moves would I do? I think Martinelli to Sterling is not a must. Onana to Edison, keeper transfer. João Pedro to Antonio, also not a move that I like. Then I guess out of all these, it seems like you have extra transfers as well, which I think you can save for after the international break. Maybe João Pedro up to, it seems like you have money as well, so I think João Pedro up to someone like a Jackson, Watkins, if you don't have, but Watkins has Liverpool. In that case, maybe a midfield change. I think that would be what I'd do. Bazinga says Bruno to Matters. I definitely wouldn't do that. Estupinian effective ownership is really high, Toby. Yeah, I mean his effective ownership is so high. I'm just afraid if he does really well, I'm in trouble. So I could start him from a standpoint of wanting to protect rank, but I think there are gains to be made here because I just don't think Estupinian is going to do very well against Newcastle. Yeah. Thoughts on bringing in Diaz for Saliba? Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Salah, João Pedro, and Mubama out for Maddison, Jackson, and Alvarez. I like Maddison. I like Jackson. I think Alvarez is a little bit risky. It's a little bit risky. Martinelli's numbers have been really poor compared to Mitoma. But Mitoma's fixtures are just so bad moving forward. Right? Martinelli's fixtures are slightly better, arguably slightly better. Roger says, if it's 50-50, go with your gut and start Colwell. If Estupinian holds, that's the joy of FPL. Joy. Chelsea can't get a clean sheet, trust me. Man, you guys. No faith in the Chelsea clean sheet. Start Estupinian. If Chelsea concede, then Colwell will get a 1-pointer. If Estupinian concedes, he still has attacking potential. Yep. I mean, I'll probably have to take this over to the Discord once we end the stream. I'll discuss with the members again. But wow, this is really close. For now, I'm still leaning Colwell. That's the thing. Starting Estupinian is definitely the safe option, yeah. Right, just let me... Okay, we've been streaming for about 1.5 hours, almost 1.5 hours. So thank you guys for joining me for 1.5 hours, but I think we'll be ending soon. So if I haven't answered your questions already, just do drop it in the chat. I just want to make sure that I get to everybody's questions before we end the stream. Okay, I'll probably end it in about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, so if I haven't answered your question, just drop it in the chat and I'll quick fire answer all the questions. Okay, so where did I leave off? Do you think Archer will play? Sheffield has a few forwards back. I think Archer will play. He already got a debut in the EFL Cup, right? So I think he'll play. I have Kyle Walker and Estupinian in my starting 11 right now, but I have Akanji on the bench. I don't know if I should sub Akanji for Estupinian. I would be more fine starting a double Man City defense over starting a double Chelsea defense. I'll say that. Walker and Akanji, they probably will start as well, right? But obviously, there's a little bit of risk with Akanji. But I just, contrary to a lot of people, I'm just not so hot on Estupinian this game week. What's your transfer plans for next week? Honestly, I'm just gonna wait and see what's gonna happen first. Like, I have already used my one free transfer for next week. There's gonna be international break, etc. I only have one free transfer for game week 5. I don't think I need to make too many big moves, right? I think my team is fine, so it will probably come from the midfield. One of these midfielders I will probably transfer out. Potentially Marcus Rashford, maybe Eze if I lose patience with him, but I don't think my defenders need any big moves. If I don't really have any moves in the midfield to make, I can consider Colwell to Trippier in game week 5, which is part of the plan already. So that's what I'm thinking about. But subject to all the, usual caveats. Yes. Mitoma to Madison for a -4. Nope, I wouldn't do that. Onana will cover clean sheet points from save points. I'm hoping that'll be the case, and that's kind of why I'm starting him ahead of Turner. Who should replace Gabriel? There's a video that I made, but I think my favorite ones would be Udogi. There's Trippier if you're okay to go early. If not, a City defender is where I would go for. Estupinian or Saliba to Udogi/Vardiol, or keep them both. I wouldn't mind selling Saliba to Udogi or Vardiol. Yep. Shall I start Visa over either of Foden, Saka, Mbeumo, Sterling, Bowen? No, I wouldn't do that. Captain Haaland or Salah? This one is pretty straightforward, I think. Would you sell Rashford to Madison/Mbeumo for a -4? No, I wouldn't do that. Gary says, I think if you have 2 Chelsea defense, you're chasing ranks, you play Colwell, otherwise you play Estupinian. Yep, I mean, rank chasing and effective ownership standpoint, definitely I need to consider. I'll hop over to the Discord. Let's continue to discuss, but I think I may just stick with Colwell. Reeve says, yo bro, love to see you stream. You are growing so fast. Thank you so much. I mean, let's see, where are we at right now for subscriber count? Let me just check. Let's see how we're doing. We're gonna hit 5,000 subscribers soon, hopefully. But the aim for the season is to end it with 10,000. So that will be the aim. Hopefully we can get there. Right. So we are at give me a moment. Let me just put up the dashboard. Okay. So for those of you who are still here, we're at 4,804 subscribers. So thank you guys, every single one of you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna try and hit 5,000 subscribers soon, and then we'll try and go upwards from there. Right? We'll try and grow the channel, and hopefully we do well in FPL as well. I think we're pretty alright. The ranks are pretty tight right now for FPL, so it's still too early to talk about ranks. But I think this season is still going alright. Right? There's still a chance that we can end off with a really good score. Right? So hopefully we'll see what happens. Jackson or Visa or Isak. Long term, if you want long term, Jackson for now, right? Followed by Visa, then Isak, right? Because they're fixed. Okay, Jackson, Isak, then Visa. Okay, that's what I would do. Sean Williams says Mitoma to Madison for a -4. I wouldn't do it for a -4. Shall I remove Mbuemo for Foden? No, I wouldn't do that. Mbuemo and Madison for Mitoma and Martinelli, worth it. If it's for free, yes, I would do it. Chilwell or Gusto, definitely Chilwell. Reeve says, when are you planning on using the wild card? I plan to use it either in Game Week 9 or Game Week 19. For now, that is the plan. I haven't decided exactly when I'm going to use it yet. Jack says, are you concerned at all with Foden's minutes? I think it's likely he'll start. Right? I mean, obviously, anything can happen, but I think it's likely he'll start. Is this a good midfield? Salah, Foden, Mitoma, and Mbuemo. I don't think there's any pressing must-sells immediately, but there is, if you have free transfers, Sterling, Madison, you can go for those players. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. I try to answer all the questions that you guys have had. Thank you for tuning in, as always, and I will end the stream right now. All the best for Game Week. All the best for Game Week 4. I think for now, this is going to be my team. I'm going to jump over to the Discord to talk with the members and we'll see where I land. Of course, final team will be posted on Instagram, on Twitter. So do follow me there if you guys want to follow the team. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in Game Week 5 content. It'll take a while for Game Week 5. There's gonna be a break. I'll put out maybe about two to three videos next week, during the international break, and then come the week, the week that we're gonna have the deadline, I'll kick on with the content thereafter. Right. So have a good break, have a good international break, and I'll see you guys very very soon. Thank you all of you guys who are sending all the well wishes in the chat. I hope you guys do well for Game Week 4 as well, right? All the best, and I'll catch you guys very, very, very soon. All right, bye-bye.